So this morning we'll go, as we normally do, straight into our practice. But first of all, just wanted to comment on the practice. So we're going to do a meditation on the Four Immeasurables. And for those of you who are familiar, you're probably familiar with metta, with loving kindness meditation. And so it's going to be that meditation, except we're going to integrate all four of the immeasurables. So loving kindness, that wish, may you be happy. Intertwined with that wish already is the wish of compassion. May you be free of suffering. You can't really wish somebody to be happy and still want them to suffer. And so they're already there together, but we'll explicitly mention it. As normal with the practice, we go with the person close to us and we move to people who perhaps we have more difficulties with. And so there's equanimity already in. And then empathetic joy is the third of the four immeasurables. And we'll integrate that by rejoicing, by imagining these people becoming happy, becoming free of suffering. And even if you feel, I'm not sure this person could be, I'm not sure they could be genuinely happy, I'm not sure they could be free of their suffering, we do our very best in our meditation to imagine it. Just imagine that it was possible. And then when we imagine them, how they might walk, how they might talk, how they might behave with this genuine well-being, then we rejoice in that. And that's how we integrate all four of these together. So that's the practice that we'll do. And so we'll practice for about 20 minutes or so, then our topic and discussion. So please find a comfortable posture for practice, whatever is most comfortable for you. So we can begin with that familiar process of letting the body come to rest in a posture of ease, comfort, stillness. Becoming aware of our immediate experience of our body. How the body feels right now, your contact, your cushion, chair. And taking a deep breath in through the nose. And a slow exhale through the mouth. Even slower, deep breath in. And exhale out. And when you're ready, a third and final deep breath. And so then taking a moment to soften all those usual points of tension, softening all the muscles of the face, throughout the head, jaws, the neck. Letting the shoulders fall away from the ears. Your arms and hands loose and relaxed. And throughout the torso and lower parts of the body. Letting our body become still. And while maintaining this full body awareness for a few moments, try to fall deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation and ease with every out breath. And so then, beginning this practice of the Four Immeasurables by bringing to mind ourselves as we are here today. Kindness, compassion, love towards ourselves is often overlooked, forgotten. First of all, explicitly recognizing that within us there is this basic desire to be happy. That doesn't mean simply what we think of happiness itself, but all forms of well-being. Feeling at ease, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, healthy in our body and mind. We want to feel well, to feel okay. And implicit in that, alongside that, we also have that wish to be free of all forms of suffering, discomfort, unhappiness, dis-ease. We just take a moment to recognize that beneath all of our behaviors, actions, words, there are these two underlying themes, moving towards comfort, happiness, moving away from suffering. And so now let us arouse this yearning, this wish, may it be so. May I find the causes of genuine happiness. May I find freedom from suffering and its causes. And the things that you want most out of life, the things that would bring you the greatest fulfillment, the greatest meaning. Wish for that as well. May it be so. May it come to fruition. If there's any resistance thinking, I don't deserve this, here on this level, on the Buddhist level as we'll see, simply by being virtue, the virtue of being a sentient being, desiring happiness and freedom from suffering, you are just as deserving of every other sentient being of finding happiness in its causes. May it be so. So we can imagine here and now, having cultivated all of those wonderful qualities that give rise to inner well-being, patience, love, compassion, joy, and having overcome all jealousies, conflicts, hatreds, contempt, imagine here and now that you found freedom from suffering. And you're experiencing freedom's true joy. And we can rejoice in that, feel a sense of delight. How wonderful that would be. Now I want you to bring to mind someone who you deeply care for. If it's difficult to choose one person, there can be a few. And imagine them here and now in front of you. Love and compassion is easy for this person. We can take a moment to look beneath all of the reasons that we do love and care for them and recognize a kindred soul there, a being who, just like myself, wants to find happiness and freedom from all forms of suffering. And beneath any layers of attachment, disagreements, or anything else, that is what we want most for them, is it not? You want to see them happy, you want to see them flourish. You don't want to see them suffer. So bring forth that yearning, that wish. May it be so. May you find genuine happiness and its causes. May you find freedom from the suffering that you experience. Using your imagination, imagine it to be true, here and now. You have realized and found the inner causes of well-being and cultivated them. They've realized the inner causes of suffering, they have eradicated them. How do they talk? How do they walk? How do they behave? And let your heart be moved, taking delight in that, sharing in their joy. Imagining their face beaming, the smile, we can't help but smile as well. Then bringing to mind somebody who is more neutral, somebody who you don't know very well. This could be a distant neighbor, somebody you see every now and again at the shops. And although you don't know this person, the logic tells us that it must be true that at their core, they too are looking for forms of happiness and looking to move away from all forms of suffering. And so they're just like us at that level. And they are just as deserving as we are. They are just as real. And so let that yearning that you felt for yourself and your loved one, let it grow and include this person as well. May it be so. I want that for you. I want you to find the causes of genuine happiness. I want you to find freedom from suffering. We could imagine this to be true here and now. Imagine this person flourishing, leading a happy, meaningful life. And taking delight in their joy. Being happy that they are happy. And next we turn our attention to someone to whom we have some aversion. Whether it's as extreme as hatred, contempt, or whether it's somebody you have some disagreement with, don't see eye to eye. This could be somebody you know personally, somebody out there in the world. Ideally, somebody we feel comfortable working with. As for myself, my loved one, person whom I don't know very well, I can conclude that beneath all of behaviors, the actions, there's a sentient being just like myself who moves towards happiness, pleasure, comfort, and who's trying to move away from suffering. And yes, the ways in which they go about this may bring suffering to themselves, suffering to others. All because these are misguided ways of finding the same thing we're looking for, happiness. Perhaps they believe that happiness comes from seeking mere pleasure, putting others down, seeking more wealth, more power, more fame, whatever it is that we find disagreeable. This is what they have been led to believe. And it causes so much suffering for themselves and others. Would it not be wonderful for them, for us, for everyone, if they were to find the inner causes of happiness and discover the inner causes of their suffering? So we can do our best to arouse this same wish, this yearning. May it be so. May you find freedom from that suffering which causes you to hurt. May you find and cultivate all of the inner causes of genuine happiness and well-being. May it be so. Imagine here and now they have overcome all which binds them to suffering. They have found a genuine well-being, an inner well-being. How has their behavior changed, their mannerism, their words, their actions? And we could try to rejoice in that as best we can. Feeling happy that they are happy and no longer suffering. Friends, our family, but then the world at large. What can I do about the conflict, the pain, the suffering? I think all we can do is what the Dalai Lama says, come to realize the value of compassion for our own peace of mind, changing the atmosphere of our life, changing our own attitude from one that is self-centered, from, how can I get this for myself, looking out for me and mine, to one that encompasses the welfare and well-being of all beings without exception. Recognizing that each single one of us, including, of course, not only humans, but all sentient beings, if you ever had a pet in your life, you can recognize in them that they want happiness and comfort and they want to be free of suffering. I'm sure we can recognize that. So all sentient beings, without exception, desire happiness and they want to be free of suffering. They are just like me. I've received a different upbringing, a different life, a different body, but at the core, we're no different. We are the same. And so compassion is it feels good. That is what our experience tells us. Acting with kindness, acting with friendliness, acting with love. It is natural for us as humans, actually. We are, as a species, we naturally respond to love, cooperation, kindness. That's how our communities have thrived. Love is in our very DNA. We see that for a baby, a child. Love, kindness, and compassion are really important for healthy development. It's built in within us. But in society, the way that life, has become, we've become so lost with greed, anger, jealousy, thinking that if I look out for myself and work on improving my own life, getting what I need, that's how I will find happiness. We've forgotten that happiness was within us all along, and that communities who love each other, work together, help each other, they thrive and they can live happily, harmoniously, even without having much materially. We see examples of that, don't we? So this meditation, this is one such way of cultivating the heart, but more importantly, I think, is out there in the world, isn't it? Having the intention, okay, today I'm going to act with my very best kindness, friendliness, compassion, our words, our actions, doing our very best. That's where we really start to transform our behavior. And so this is what I wanted to share this morning, the Dalai Lama's precious reminder here to prioritize kindness and love in the face of a world where these qualities are just not prioritized. So when we're faced with unkindness, may we be kind. When faced with hatred, may we continue to love. And when faced with ill will, may we be compassionate, may we be that example.